good with you, man?
Oh man, you know what I mean? We alive, man. We blessed, man. I'm sitting here with my co-host, my man Brody, and my man Joe Barker, who is DMX's younger brother, man.
How you doing, brother?
What up? What up? What's good, man?
Chilling, man. How you, bro?
Everything is good, man. Beautiful, bro.
I'm glad to hear that, man. You know, I got to tell you, there's not a time I don't ride through the South Bronx going home where I don't play Cross Bronx on my shit.
Cross Bronx.
Okay, and then I love the fact that you can still see some people that know all the words to that shit when we ride through the Bronx, because I think y'all touched every borough or every part of the Bronx in that song, man. I love that song to this day. I still listen to it.
Listen, I got some people that still mad at me, like Bronx River said you never mentioned Bronx River.
You know what's weird? I talked to Raheem. That's my man, Raheem from the Five. And he talks about y'all all the time, and he was like, he pretty much gave the Bronx so much love on that song, like he touched everything. But he said, but he left out Bronx River though. He was like, I know the Spaniards was mad at him that he left out Bronx River, but I was like, dog, he touched every part of the Bronx on that.
I said 174th, and I thought
that's why I love it. I'm right there, 174th. I'm right there. That's the stop I get off to go to the crib.
My area used to have a problem. Yeah, you know, I'm from 174th, born and raised. So my problem was Bronx River always had a problem with 174. We always beef with them from across the street, across the bridge. But that wasn't the reason they got left off, because I got my people that's in Bronx. I got people in Bronx. It was an honest mistake, and I thought by saying 174th, you know, that would cover.
Oh, you definitely shout out the hood, man. You got my wild love in the South Bronx.
Yeah,
man.
they can't front on you at all.
Yeah, that song is like every time I play it,
if
you can see people that they love that
this rap shit probably never would be going on. So tell me where you from.
You put the whole borough in your back on that one, man.
So Gunz, when me and you was in Atlanta, you know, we was riding in the car and everything. You was telling me, like, you know, how you was real close with X, man. So I thought it would be great for you to, you know, call in on this while we sitting here talking to DMX's brother. You know, rest in peace to X, man. We lost a legend. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest of all time in the hip hop arena. And could you just give us, before you get off the phone, could you give us a story, you and DMX, man?
Yeah, you know, first off, I knew X since 91, 92.
Right.
We didn't all the way start off on the good side of things. It started off crazy. We started off battling.
Right.
People don't know that.
Right.
I was in a group called Gun Runners, and X showed up to one of our shows. We was Wu-Tang before Wu-Tang. It was like 8 of us.
Wow.
Plan was to do a Wu-Tang that you could ask the Lock, ask any of them. We had a gold tape. Swiss and them used to love us. They'll tell you, them niggas used to be like, before they got on, they was like, yo, the Gun Runners. So X one time showed up to one of our shows and was like, yo, I battle all y'all niggas.
Wow. That's the type of nigga.
Yeah, that's the Earl.
Wow.
30 Yonkers niggas with him background to him, and they knew all the words to his shit. So every rhyme, and all of us wanted a piece, so we did it.
Right.
So by the time all came out, we came out at the same time, and we love the fact that we came out with a street joint. X came out with a street joint, and we was changing the landscape from what Puff and them was doing to some grimy shit.
Right.
Because that shit had a run, and we was like, nah, it's time to take it to the street. And X came out, and we came out, and we was all on the Source cover at the same time.
Yeah, that was a great cover that year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pun dropped that year.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Big Pun, man.
Yeah. I mean, that record was outstanding.
We all had the freshman cover, right?
Right.
Yep.
And so what ended up happening was they interviewed all of us about each other, one another. Like, so they would ask us about X. What's up, brother? Oh, tell G I said what up, man. Tell him I'm gonna come out and give you my joint. Yeah. So they interview all of us about one another. And it would be like, yo, Gunz, what you think about Pun? Pun, what you think about Gunz? Yo, Gunz, what y'all think about X? You and Tariq and this and that. So they would ask all of us about each other. So when we talked about X, we praised them. But when X talked about us, he's like, ask them niggas how I ate 8 of them in 90.
Hey, yo, that's some raw shit.
but just to make a longer story short, I'm gonna hit him right back. Just to make a longer story short, me and X got tight later on. We got real tight, man. We would meet up. People don't know this. We would meet up in Harlem and meet up certain places and just talk for hours, man. Some of the stuff I would never, ever tell, because that'll be betrayal. You know, like stuff that we told. But one of the stories I will tell y'all is I'm a huge Prince fan.
Right. Me too.
And me and X talked about Prince for an hour, and X said, and this I'll tell because X said that Prince summons him in a club in Canada to meet him. So I was like, how'd that go? He said, Gunz, first thing I thought about was some high heels, makeup, and them butt-out jeans. And I was like, nah, I'm good. But they was like, yo, X, he really came to the club to see you. He came for you,
right.
Prince. So he said he went and sat down with him reluctantly, and he said when he got over there, it was like thousands of bitches over there, and Prince sat him down. He said he went from having Prince in his mind as this little gay dude to praising him. He said he was like the uncle scolding him, like, yo, you need to get your masters. You need to own. You need to be this. He said, yo, he was like scolding me, like, and he was like, he became the old pimp uncle. Right. Coolest nigga. Like, Gunz gave me the number. He said, I didn't listen to him, and I didn't keep in contact with him. I always regret that. But that story stuck with me because it's longer than that. But that was one of the stories we had. And then the last time I was supposed to see him, he had a party. And he told my man, Alizé, I really want Gunz at the party. Tell Gunz to be here. So he called Alizé, got my number. He called me and said, yo, X, I promise I'm coming. I was in Harlem in Red Rooster, and he kept checking for me to see where I was at. And even though I didn't make it, and I'm gonna always regret that because but it was bugging me. I was like, yo, I can't believe he really want me there like that. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, yo, Gunz, get your ass over. Where are you? Right. My family want to meet you. Like, you know, so those things that as you get older, you start looking around at who's real and what's what and what's what. And when people was really going in on me from loving hip hop, and I gotta say X and Nas, the two that stepped up and was like, fuck that, man, you a real nigga and I fuck with you. Nas did it at a concert and X just did it in person. Like, meet me in Harlem.
Right.
Somebody tried to hand me a phone to take a picture of them and X lost his mind. Fuck, you know who that is? You asked me to take the picture?
Right.
That's Peter fucking Gunz. Nah, man, ask somebody to take it. He refused to let me take the picture.
Right. That's respect, though, man.
Yeah,
that's,
of course. From one MC to another.
Respect. So speaking of loving hip hop, man, what's going on with you and Cisco, man? What's going down with this fight, man?
Oh, just some unfinished business, man. The little unfinished business that we got to handle. He always laughed and said, yo, security always gets involved. We never got to really mix it up. We always had a debate about if it really went down, what it would be. And so it's not no real animosity. So I thought between that and a bag, I could always use a bag. Yeah. Let's mix it up. And I'm not a boxer, but it's on my bucket list to get in the ring and let it go for 3 rounds. That ain't bad. I could do that.
Nah. Can we get a prediction?
Pain. What the man said?
Pain.
Mr. T.
Pain. Yep, Mr. T. Pain.
Nah, I hear that.
Nah, I'm gonna get in there and we'll see what happens. I know he
just use the jab, man. Work everything off the jab, my brother. Work everything off the jab.
Well, I see you in Atlanta, man. You know what I'm saying? You was working. I know you was a little injured and all that, but I know you've been throwing hands on cheaters and all that. So it's like, you've been staying in shape a little bit.
You can't give them everything when they doing a press conference. You gotta keep some stuff for yourself.
The press conference was wild. That right there, that shit was off the chain, bro. That shit got a little crazy.
Yeah. It's all good. I'm on my Muhammad Ali. Be quiet. What's forming? I'm Ali. I'm the loud troublemaker.
Right. So how do you feel you bringing something different to Cheetahs than the other guys were? Because like I've always enjoyed the show, but just like I'm really looking forward to seeing you on it because I've seen some of the previews and it's hilarious, man.
I'm the first black host on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
And I bring a more street element to it in terms of like I'm not having it, yo.
Yeah, you're definitely not gonna get stabbed like Son got stabbed. Like you definitely not. I don't see that happening to Peter Gunz. I'm like, I don't think they're gonna be trying to stab Peter. Like nobody's gonna be pulling knives on Peter.
Anything can happen, it's one of those things. And on the show, you don't know who's real, who's faking, who's real. But I just go, and then you catch real moments like, dude, that was hand happy with his girl, and I called him out on it. And he was like, yo, I don't shoot. I don't fight, nigga. I shoot.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing with these young motherfuckers now. I don't fight, I shoot.
But you don't know, Gunz, you roll with a shooter. We was in Atlanta. Gunz shooter drove down from New York, bro. He said, yo, he said, I can't fly with it, so I got to drive with it.
Yeah, no, you got, it's always one of those things. I had to talk to my dudes that's coming out to the fight in Atlantic City and tell them, listen, man, at the end of this fight, win, lose, or draw, me and dude, we gonna go get a drink. We gonna chop it up. We gonna hug, and that's gonna be it. Don't come down there jumping in the ring or arguing with his
Yeah.
No entourage.
Is Corey going to be at the fight?
I come from 174th and Vice, and if I'm losing, niggas might jump in the ring.
Right. That's real shit.
Is Corey going to be at the fight?
Yo, I don't know, man. You know, Corey, that's my son. I love him to death, but Corey don't like no limelight. He don't like reality shows, and we have one called Son of a Gun. He don't like limelight. He don't like being in the mix of that, and I think a little part of him is like, Dad, could you please stop, my nigga?
Yeah.
Stop it. Always up to always doing something.
Hey, man, if it's a bag out there, you got to get it,
Right,
bro.
right. Hey, he is one of the most underrated MCs I think there is that's
100%.
out there. You think that kind of played him not being, wanting to be in the limelight? You think that kind of played into why he's not as big as he should be? Well, I feel he should be anyway.
Part of it is in not dumbing down and not dumbing down. He's only underrated. Corey is only underrated for his music, his records not being out there, people not hearing them singing. That's the underrated.
Right, not his lyrics.
No, but everybody agrees he's a top spitter.
You'll never find nobody to say, he's whack.
Yeah.
Never.
He's been actually compared to like guys like Sky Zoo, people like that. When we talk about lyricists, like I've heard his name, him and Sky Zoo said the same sentence, and I think the world of Sky Zoo, and like Corey's nice. Like, but he been nice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
what happened is he won't dumb down. You know what I mean? And that plays a part of it. Corey grew up on Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J, Slick Rick, KRS-One. He grew up on a different era. Wu-Tang, Nas, Jay. He grew up on that. He grew up like in being a lyricist. We close in age. I had Corey was born when I was 17. So he grew up on what I grew up on. And he just won't, he's not going to dumb down. It's just what it is. Win, lose, or draw. I'm not going to fuck.
Well, he shouldn't have to. You got to, I think, like the way you did it. You got to just do your craft the way you want to do it.
And
I think when you dumb it down, you're killing yourself.
Body Wayne, I can't even front, man.
Absolutely, man.
He's a beast.
Here's the true story about the Wayne verse. The Wayne verse was dumb long. It was going back and forth on 6-7.
Right.
Wayne, when Corey flew back to New York, Wayne chopped his verse up and put all those pieces together. That's not even how the verse went.
Wow, that's crazy.
But in all fairness to Wayne, because most people say, Corey liked going back and forth with him. Because, of course, Corey wrapped circles around it. But the problem with it was Wayne wanted to roll Corey out to the world. Like, once he said that last line, now here goes Corey. Just like Drake and Nicki, this is the next one out the crew. And rolled it. I understood exactly what he was trying to do. It was his first record out of jail. Nobody heard from him for months. And the first record, he put Corey on it and rolled him out to the world. That's why I say nobody can say nothing about him.
Much props to Wayne. I'm just saying, Wayne is considered one of the greatest, and definitely on that record, you can't say that Corey didn't get him. That's all I'm saying.
Facts. Yo.
Facts.
But listen,
I know you gotta go, man. We super duper appreciate you calling in, brother, man. Listen, June 11th, you gonna be in Atlantic City.
And my condolences.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
All day.
All right, brother. We'll see you in Atlantic City, man.
Appreciate
you
it.
and Cisco, man. Appreciate you calling in. And one day we're gonna have you actually come on this show, man. And
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate y'all, man.
Yo, bro, I'll talk to you soon, man.
Out there, man. You stay safe out there, bro.
Peace.
Yeah, that's what's up. So we have Peter Gunz, who's fighting
Cisco Rosado
on June the 11th.
Showboat
should
in
be a
Atlantic
fast fight.
City. It's
Atlantic
gonna be
City.
entertaining, man.
It's gonna be something.
And actually, Rich Dollars is the referee.
I don't need this anymore, right?
Oh, okay. So Rich gonna cheat us through at least 3 rounds today. He gonna keep them both on their feet.
Exactly.
Rich know how to make a dollar. Rich gonna be like, let's keep them up on their feet.
Rich don't play
Keep
around.
giving them
Man.
shots of adrenaline.
To me, that's gonna be a real competitive fight. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying.
As far as celebrity boxing goes.
Yeah, as far as celebrity boxing goes.
Somebody
you
gonna
know
throw some punches.
Yeah. As far as who's on that card, I don't know about the
undercard.
I don't know about too much about the undercard.
They got to get washed up kid celebrities to fight.
Good.
That's the next one. You got to get washed up kid celebrities.
Well, isn't that what Aaron Carter is?
No, I'm talking about people that we used to see on the TV shows, like the kid, like the Full House little sister or something like that, like the little black girl they kicked off the Urkel show, like the little sister that was there for a season and they kicked off and she started doing porn. Bring her back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let her come in and whoop some ass.
They didn't have Octomom on there. They didn't have like all type of people. Tanya Harding.
Yeah. I see that shit. Yeah, she was ready to go too. She looked like she wanted to bang.
They had what's his name? Rodney King.
Oh, that's right. Rodney King did do that shit.
Yo, fucking
Everybody
what's his
need a
name?
dollar.
I
forgot all about
Coolio.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Couple
it
people had beef.
been a lot of people.
They tried to get my brother. Remember, they tried to get Earl to do that shit. And he
Yeah.
went, and then all of a sudden, Rough Rider was like, "Look, dog, it's not happening. Like, we ain't at that point yet.
Nah.
I didn't want to make fun
I
of
didn't
Love and
even know they
Hip
had
Hop,
him.
but
He was supposed to do
Oh
that.
yeah. The joke was, and I'm not making fun of Love and Hip Hop because I love the show. I watch it all the time. It's my I don't tell nobody, but I watch that shit consistently. But that was like, I told you one step away from Love and Hip Hop. If you do celebrity boxing, you might as well just do Love and Hip Hop now. Because they offered him a check at one time. They wanted to do the Love and Hip Hop shit with him. They was like, you ain't doing much. And I forgot the girl's name that runs it. Mona Scott.
Yeah. So how did it happen for you? Is like, as far as like when X goes from, now his popularity is increasing when he's at the beginning.
Yeah.
And he's getting signed and now he starts to take off the kind of rock star status. How did that like change your life, like impact your life? Like at what point, like, did you go from, all right, I'm chilling, like, I'm just coming around hanging out, to, nigga, quit your job, come with me, you just gonna roll blunts for me, you're gonna go on tour, we're gonna be here where you can spend $120,000.
But it didn't affect me to the point, like, 'cause I've always been very private. Like, he knows that I'm very private. Like, I never really told a lot of people that was my big brother like that, because my thing is, I like the fact that I have friends. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted people to like me for me.
Right.
I think when you're young, when you're like 25, 26, I wasn't stupid. I wasn't one of the people that thought I'm a popular person because I'm just a popular motherfucker. I realized it because who he is, people will be nice to me. And I tell you, take the little shit that comes along with it and you happy for it. But at the same time, I always liked the fact that I was able to be private and have real friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw him deal with fake motherfuckers all day. I didn't want that in my life. I got real friends. And there are people that have known me for years that never knew that was my brother. That I would be with him. They'd be like, dude, I did not know that was your man. Like, I had no idea.
He was telling me about somebody named D.
I just didn't want that to be. It always was weird to me when you see a sibling, and I met a few of them, that they can't go 5 minutes without saying who their brother or sister is.
Right.
Like, it's like, dude, you don't have a life of your own. Like, you don't want to be people know
like
who
Aaron
you are.
Carter, like Aaron Carter, right? Like Aaron Carter.
The question is, how did it change? Like,
she went from 0 to 100 real fast. Yeah, because
so
as soon
one
as he
day
did
you
the
just chilling
4, 3, 2, 1. I was there for that video too. They shot that right in the Bronx, and it was like after the movie Belly came out. That was when shit really started flying. When Belly came out, because remember, Belly was before the actual record dropped almost. Right. So once Belly came out, it was like all the way, because everybody knew who he was. Right. You could see his face. Right. Before, when you're hearing tapes, you just hear a voice, but now you see his face.
His personality.
Shit got different because the money came in so fast. The money came in so fast. It was just really fast money, because now you're doing these shows and you're going from making nothing, which he was pretty much doing shows for, promo shit for free. Now you're making $200,000 a show. And that's a lot of money when you're doing 10 shows in a week.
That's a lot of money for anything.
Yeah, when you're doing that many shows in a week. You know what I'm saying? So I understood, like, it changed.
I mean, that's a mill
financially, for all of us.
So
overnight, yeah. For him, overnight. I mean, he went from able to be, like, broke in the projects to a week later buying a beautiful house in Mount Kisco. Like, that was how fast it moved for him, because the money came in so fast with all the shit that they wanted him to do and all the money they were throwing at him for other albums. Well, we're going to pay you in advance for this one, and we're going to pay you in advance for that. So he was making money. And then the movie contract came along. There's another like $15, $20 million to do these 2 movies. So the money came fast. He just had a hard time holding it in his pocket. You know what I mean? You want to spend it. He would buy a car off the street just from somebody driving it. He was like, oh, I love that car. It's a 56. Let me buy it off you. And they would just throw a price and he'd buy it. I think he just had that impulse buy. You know what I mean? Because he would regret some of the buys later. He'd be like, I don't know why the fuck I bought that shit.
But he was never do
go ahead.
The finish. He was never do himself to be flashy. Like, you never seen him with like 10 gold chains on.
And once he didn't buy. He never bought none of them chains. They were giving him his gifts. Like Rough Riders gave him the R chain. He just wasn't his way. Like the chain you see him with on the album cover is like just the first one, It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Yeah. Our little brother gave him that. That's a little steel chain that he had. It wasn't nothing. It cost $5. My brother wore it, and Earl said it was gay. Earl was like, this shit like one of them gay collars they be wearing at them clubs. You know what I'm saying? He was like, no, it's like a dog collar. You should wear it. It look like a dog collar for you. And he was like, you know what? I'll rock it. And he did. It looked like a dog collar for him, so he wore it. It was like, the ideas come and go, but like he wasn't really into like fashion shit. He liked Timberlands. Shit he couldn't afford when he was young. We fought over socks. Because we were both denied socks as children. Socks and socks. That was our thing. Socks and wife beaters. You know what I'm saying? Because that was his thing. Like, he didn't have socks as a kid, so we always argued over socks. Our thing would be like, because he had like baby feet. Like, he wore like an 8.5. I wear a 10. So what the fuck? I can't do shit with them shoes. Wow. So the one thing he was never worried about is me stealing his shoes, but he would always be bitching about his fucking socks. He'd be like, you got my socks, don't you? Yes, I do. Because I, unfortunately, had to do all the laundry. You know what I'm saying? Because, back then, you just did the laundry on tour. It was me. I had to, you know, dude, I didn't mind though, because they always had money in his pocket. So I would be like, hey, free collections. You know what I'm saying? Because you're making like $400 in loose bills. You don't realize these motherfuckers don't ever take nothing out their pockets. Like I would do laundry, be like, dude, you got like $3,000. You know, I got shit to do this weekend.
So speaking of albums, so by the time this drops, his new album should be out, Exodus.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
a lot of people can't wait. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with it. I'm excited to see, you know.
I think it's going to do very well.
I think so. I mean, I believe it'll sell a lot of units. I'm not worried about that. I just hope that the kids benefit, you know, all his children benefit from it the way they should.
How many kids?
17. And there's actually a set of twins that live in Philly. Shout out to Pebbles and the boys. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it is, you know.
Have you heard the album?
I've heard a couple tracks off of it, but they don't, you know, when Swiss is involved in it, he keeps it very private and keeps it under wraps. Like, they're not going to let anybody leak that shit. Like, they had their private listening party, and I was invited to that, but I didn't expect to be. Because they look at it as anybody might come in there with a recorder and try to leak it. You know, dumb shit. Like, I had somebody, the only time I ever got offered music was when, well, I was at Def Jam, and his third album came out, and then there was X. And one of the DJs, can't go say my man's name, blow his shit up all crazy, but he came over there and was like, I'll give you $5,000 for one song. And I needed that bread. But I couldn't do it because I understood that if I give him the song, because I had the tape, I had all them shits at that point. I was like, if I give you the song, dude, I'm done. Yeah. Like, he gonna know I gave it to you. Because who the fuck else in Def Jam is doing that? You know what I'm saying? And eventually he runs up on you, you're gonna tell him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna keep that shit private. As soon as he hear that shit on tape, he'll be like, oh, fucking fine, this nigga. He gonna run up on you, and you gonna tell him. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna put the moves on you, nigga, and you gonna be like, your brother did. You know what I'm saying? So I never really like got into like doing anything with his music. You know what I'm saying? I would listen to it. He gave me the blessing to have it, and I would play it for every chick I could meet. You know what I'm saying? You know, because you want to get pussy off of it. Like, you know, you're young, so you want to get laid off of it. But I wasn't, you know, on that shit like, oh, yeah, I got the new remix of the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had all them shits, but I never was on that, I'm going to sell it. Like, my thing was selling passes. Because I tell people all the time, when you do a show like Summer Jam or Powerhouse, there's always that one drug dealer ass nigga that show up with his girl dressed to the nines. I mean, he's got on the Gucci shoes, he's got on the fur coat, she got on the fucking, you know, the Christian Louboutin shoes. Like, she's ready to go. He got no tickets. Yeah. He got no way to get in. He told his girl all night, baby, we gonna hang with the rappers. Here comes Joe to the rescue. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been cool with security all night.
So speaking of which, Joe to the rescue. So it had to be like 2 years ago.
I think 2 years right before the pandemic when your boy came down. Yeah. Very good guy.
So Joe called me, yo, you know, Earl's performing in Philly, gonna be at the TLA. You gotta come through and shit. And I'm like, damn, bro, like, I'm leaving town.
It was your birthday, right?
It was my birthday. I was going, it was in April. I was going to Houston, and then I was going to Miami and shit, right? So I'm like, damn, bro, I can't make it. But my cousin, he had just come home. My cousin Corey, he had just come home. He had did 18 years and shit. And when he left,
so your brother was like, the first album, he said that album just dropped.
It was on fire. Like, DMX was like on fire. So I'm like, yo, you know what'd be great, man? Like, if I give these tickets to my cousin, he gonna love this shit. Like, it's gonna be like the best thing that I could do for him. And this is my cousin like this. We you know, we super tight. And so Joe like, bet I got him, you know, put him on her list or whatever. So I'm in Florida and shit. And my cousin calls me like, yo, man, you know, I went to the thing. My name ain't at the thing. So I called Joe like, yo, my cousin is out front. Joe went out front, got him, and brought him in the building. Got in there.
Because that was the only thing he asked me, just make sure my man is good. He just got home.
Shit, he was with his lady.
Yeah, he was with his girl.
The shit that he talking about with the drug dealer. I mean, I'm not saying my cousin's the drug dealer. He's a super legitimate guy now. He's on.
Yeah, because I made them drug dealers pay. They was paying $500 for the passes.
But Joe came
all access
and took care of my cousin, man, and showed him, man.
Yeah, he was good because he was with his lady. You know, they out there looking. He was dressed to go in there and do his thing. Like, he was dressed fresh.
Shout out to my cousin Corey. They call him Dog. You know, just see, shit just be, you know.
I told him too. I said, you too fresh. You can't be out here looking all fresh like this with your lady. You know what I'm saying? That's how them guys be. They be spending that money because they realize, like, and I used to tell people too, I'm like, you don't always want this like you think you do, because really, why would you want to bring that beautiful lady up and all them wolves in there? The boys is wolves in there, like the wolf pack time. You don't realize these rappers will steal your lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be thinking, because I remember being around him, you be married women. Like, this is what the shit I used to love when women say. Well, you know, I always told my husband that if I met DMX, he said I could cheat with him. Now, bitch, You know that's
that
not
ain't true.
You know that. I mean, he said it, but he didn't think you was really going to be.
He ain't think it was going to be.
You know, I
He
got
ain't
my
think it was
cheap
ever
person
gonna
is
happen.
Janet Jackson, but the bitch, even if she meet me, she ain't gonna give me no pussy. Like it's
Right.
just not something you think is gonna happen.
Right.
But see, I would love the mentality of some of these women. They go, oh no, well,
my
he said I
cousin
could
ain't
cheat.
going for none of that
I'm
shit.
like,
I
the
just
fuck
wanna,
out of here.
put that out
Like
there.
some of the shit that these women will be doing, like you see him for like 2-3 days, they be like married, got a husband, just icking this nigga. Or we at the club in where the fuck was we at that club at? Somewhere, was it Louisiana? Was it Louisiana or somewhere else? We was down at some club, and my man Jack had some chick on his lap, and you know how you got the VIP, you got the little steps and there's a little rail. So we see the guys talking, and he's looking at the girl. He like, she's sitting on my man's lap, and she looking at him, and my man Jack is like, yo, you know, son, and she's like, yeah, that's my boyfriend. And I'm like, you're not gonna go to him? She's like, no, he gonna fuck me up. She's like, I might as well have a good time and get my ass kicked later.
Oh my god.
Wow. And she stayed with us for a couple hours. And he was beyond heated. You know, when you so heated, your man is with you. So your man is seeing all this. Like he's
looking like
standing
a
with his
sucker.
dude. He's like, yo, over here. Like, bitch, get over here now. Like he wanted to, if he could have stretch arms, that nigga would have punched that bitch in the face 5 times. Like she said, I'm gonna get my ass kicked when I leave here. He was like, you sure you okay with that? And she was like, it is what it is. He hit me all the time. She's like, but I'm having fun tonight. Fuck that. And she was very calmly, he kept saying, get the fuck over here. She was like, not no. She wasn't playing the nigga. She was very calmly like,
Don't even do it right now. I'm
I'm
living
good.
my dream.
yeah, she was doing her thing.
But he
Like,
never came over to y'all.
no, he wasn't gonna make it over that rail. He'd have got his shit split right
He'd
before he
have
got over that rail.
nah, you
But
can't
it was
do
just
that.
so funny, like that she literally sat there and played her man like that. Like, you know, you got to be with this nigga after we leave.
That's like trying to approach the president.
Yeah, like you literally, I've seen that. I mean, people have gotten punched in their face for doing shit like that. And I was like, why would you do that? Like when they tell you to stay away from them. Like if you know you're not supposed to do that, why would you do that anyway? But they don't seem to be drunk people. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't always have to get hit, but they put themselves in a position to be hit. Like if you know that they tell you 3 times, don't be in the man's face, and you run up trying to grab them. If you're a guy, they probably going to hit you. Females, they just grab you and relax. Most of the time, the biggest fights be with females. They'll fight with security way more than a guy will. They'll pull out a knife. They want to get busy with you. Like females don't care. They have no chill. Like we've gotten into way more physical altercations with females. Probably security guys have with females than we did with males. Males talk shit to you. You know, you whack, nigga, this and that, but they don't really do nothing. Females would be like, they get upset with you, and then they try to fight the chick you with, and then they got 5 cousins. It's always some shit. Like, we got into a couple things with females where we got into an argument with a female, and she was like, I'm going to call my people. And she called her people.
So let me
And they
ask
came
you
back.
this. So this is a good time podcast, right? Tell us the best time that you ever had with DMX, yo.
The best time?
Best time. It
Best
could be
time.
any time. It could be on tour. It could just be some personal at home
I think it
shit.
was, I
could
think
be.
the best time I've ever had probably was in LA, doing all the stuff we did in LA with the remote control cars and the planes, and just the overall, like seeing how a movie's made and put together in the editing process. I really enjoyed that. But I think my best story of being with him was we're about to go on, we're leaving the station, the radio station in New York City, and we're about to get on to the West Side Highway. And we pull up, and you know, there's a white guy there, and he's got his dog there, and the dog has got the little, you know, backpack on and shit. He homeless. So my brother pulls up next to the guy, and he's like, yo, who is first? And the guy is like looking at my brother. He's like, he's assaulted that my brother would ask him this question. He's like, my dog. And my brother goes, I feel you. And he hands him some money out the window. So I'm not paying attention to it. I'm like reading some shit. And I'm looking through the book of CDs. And I'm like, wow, son about to eat real good this week. My brother's like, I just gave him $5,000. He about to eat good for a month. And my thing is, I ain't been paid in 2 weeks. Fuck you giving him $5,000 for. So my thing is like, then you gave him $5,000. Then he explained to me, he was like, the only reason I gave him the money. And then I was, this is an important thing too, is it's the relationship between the fact that you were selfless enough to feed the person that's going to protect you. You know what I'm saying? He said to him, that dog is like his child. If you selfish, you feed yourself first and go, I need the energy to go feed my kid. No, what you need to do is feed your kid first and figure it the fuck out. And what he's doing is he got to sleep. That dog need the energy to fend off anything that's going to attack that man. So anybody that's selfish enough to not feed their dog first, I can't fuck with you. He was like, because that's the person holding you down when nobody else is with you. He's like, the dog got the backpack on. The dog is holding all his shit. He was like, the first person he should feed before himself is his dog. And dude said it too. He was like, my dog. Like, how dare you ask me this? And he had no idea who Earl was. Gave him $5,000. That was how he was with shit like
crazy.
that. And I'm sure his son to this day was like, some guy just gave me $5,000 because I feed my dog.
You never. That
And
shit
there were
might
people
have
that
changed
laughed
his
at that
life.
and was like, yo,
It
like,
might
yeah.
have changed his
He
life.
might have
Yeah,
put him-
I've had people hit me
put him
on
back in the
Instagram.
game.
Yeah.
I've had people hit me on Instagram like, you know, your brother changed my life. Or people he met when they would like slip and stop me from doing drugs. You know, I was in a bad way before I heard that song. And that shit made me, and if you could do it, I realized I could do it. And that shit affects you. And it made him feel good to know that there were people. There was a chick we met in Arizona. She had the whole verse tattooed on her side because she said I was on drugs. Like I was going to die. She was like, and I heard that song and I knew you could do it. I knew I could do it. You know what I'm saying? That helps a lot of people. There are people that use that song as their motivation every day. I've had people tell me I use that song Slipping to stay clean. I play it every morning. I've been playing it every morning since it came out. And that keeps me clean. I listen to Slipping every morning. I don't miss a day. It's like my treatment. You know, I wake up, I listen to the words and go, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be good today. You know what I mean? And some people need that. Man. You do it how you got to do it. But I've heard some, like I've had some people like write me some stuff and I'm like, wow. Like homegirl was like, I listen to that shit every day for the last 17 years. Every fucking day I wake up, first thing I do is I wash my face, brush my teeth before I go to work. I play Slipping one time, so I know I got to be clean today. You know what I'm saying? She was like, and it's more important to me now that he's not here because now he watching over me. I'm like, no doubt. Like, you see how it affected other people, you know what I'm saying? Especially people that are out there feeling lost. You know what I'm saying? It does. He was the fighter for the little guy. I always said he always was the emotional, you know, he was there for the little guy. You know what I'm saying? He understood what it was like to not have a mother or father in your life at all times, you know, to be on your own, to have to deal with shit on your own. He understood that. He had a real understanding of people, how people worked, you know, to see talent in people, to see, you know, to see people grow. You know, he wanted to see that out of everybody. You know, and I tell people, don't be upset he's gone. Celebrate his life the way he would celebrate yours. You get you some Henny, you roll up some shit, and you smoke and drink, because that's what he would do for you. He wouldn't be sitting around sad and crying. That wasn't his way. When anybody passed, when Kato passed, we celebrated that nigga's life all night. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing I did with him. Yeah, I cried. You know what I'm saying? I cried a lot. But when I went home with my aunts and them, we got a bottle of Henny, we put it on the corner, we blunt roll it, put it there, lit the candle, and that's his. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna party for him now. And that's what I do the rest of my life. I party for him. I don't be sad and all that shit. It's hard to listen to his music now, because to me, I don't hear the music. I hear him talking to me. I hear the voice. So that depresses the shit out of me. Like, I don't like the constant videos and the constant tagging me and that shit. I'm like, I know, but it's hard because I got to keep listening to it all the time. It don't go away. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for others because you're a fan. So other people that are fans, they go, I love the music. And they do. I really do appreciate that love that he's getting. But for me, it's like, it's hard because I have to relive it all the time. You know, it's every day. It's like you relive it. So I try to keep my mind off of it. But that's why it's good when you have friends like Ryan, friends in my life that like really care about me as a person. So they try to like motivate me to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you good? You all right? You need anything? Yeah, I don't right now, but if I do, thank you for being there, because it helps. You know what I'm saying? A good, like, you need people, you need a good support system and shit like this. You know, then my uncle passed, and a few days after that was like, what the fuck? Like, why is this black cloud hanging over my family? You know what I'm saying? And then you start to wonder, am I next? You know, I'm 45. What the fuck is going to happen to me? Like, and my mom is like, well, you should be careful on your bike. You start to double think shit and overthink things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to be careful. I don't want my dad to be, you know, worried about me. Like, it's a lot to deal with. But I realize, like I said, support system, having good family, friends around you is important in times like this. You really need people around you to love you and care about you and tell you it's going to be okay. Because, you know, sometimes it's not.
Who was the guy at the funeral that
the guy that stood up and
I think his name was Prince or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know who Homeboy is. I've never seen that dude before in my life, bro. Really? I'm not gonna lie to you. I had no idea. That's why they kicked him off the stage. He's saying he's somebody important. I think his name was Jungle. He's saying he was somebody important. I was with my brother a lot of years. I'd never met Homeboy in my life. But yet again, I don't want to sit there and say that my brother didn't know him. You obviously you have pictures with him. So maybe y'all had a relationship I didn't know about. Like, a lot of times you'll have his own friends that, you know, some people you click with, you just click with. But I never personally met son. Did I think it was a little bit, I was there at the thing. Did I think it was a little bit weird that you went up on stage and did that shit? Yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of started talking about himself a little bit.
Yeah, you started to make it. Then I see you doing some semi-fuck shit, because then you're going out there and you're like promoting the book. Like on your Instagram, which is weird to me. Like, I've always said, I will not monetize my brother's name. Like, you know, you can't offer me money to talk. I won't take that. Like, only reason I did this with him because I love this nigga. It's my brother. So when he said, yo, you, of course, not a thing. There were other people that have asked, I won't do it, because I don't want to feel like I'm going to be out there. I'm not a fucking circus animal. Like, you know, they just want to like get all these, trying to get these stories that I'm not going to give you. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't tell him. Me and him talk privately. He knows a bunch of shit, but I would never get on the radio and play my man Legacy like that and be talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you see with a lot of these motherfuckers like him. I just don't like that. Like, don't monetize the nigga. Like, he's gone. If you love him and that was your friend, be his fucking friend. Don't be out there monetizing him, trying to make money off his name. You know, like when I saw people selling the books from the funeral, The fuck is wrong with you?
That's whack.
Like, who's doing that whack
That's
shit?
whack.
And I don't know
That's
who's
whack.
doing it because you can't tell. It's on the little eBay. You don't know who the fuck it is.
right.
They make up an account. That's some real bitch ass shit.
That's whack
Like,
as
that's
fuck.
some real. And there's a lot of other words I can use. I don't want to offend nobody, but that's some real bitch ass shit. Like, you out there selling the card from the Bible and trying to take pictures. Like, they caught a couple people doing that. Like, what are you doing? Like, with a camera trying to take a picture. What are you doing? Like,
That shit
who
is
offered
whack.
you money to do that?
Yeah.
Like, and that's a money thing. That's somebody offered you money to get him in the casket.
Yeah,
We'll take a
that's
picture of him in the
terrible.
casket. We'll give you money. Like, that's horrible.
crazy.
That's fucking horrible.
What's your do you have a relationship with Irv Gotti? I know. Or what's your feelings? He has said some shit, and I'm not even gonna repeat what he said. I don't know if you know. What
Oh, yeah, I know what he said. I know what he
Yeah.
said.
So what's your feeling? Do you feel like it's just a slip of the tongue?
It's a slip of the tongue.
And
He
his
just
heart
talked-
was in the
he-
right place.
It was in the right place. He just spoke out of turn. And like he said, I believe 100%.
That's how I took
that
it,
this was
but
nothing
people
that
were
he didn't
attacking
hear
him.
from other people. Because I was hearing a lot of shit. Relatives were calling me and didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. And these are people that were there at the hospital, but they're hearing shit third and fourth hand from other people.
Yeah,
so
but
you
at
really
the
don't
same
know.
time, though, I mean, I understand. You know, it was looked at like, you know, Irv Gotti had a slip of the tongue, but like Irv Gotti been in the game for way too fucking
Yeah, and he
long.
knows
Just
better
don't
than to
say
say certain
nothing
things.
then.
Say nothing, but him
You know
and
what I'm
Tashira, I
saying?
think Tashira and
He
his
just might not have
ex-wife.
been in a situation like this. You can be in the game for 20 years and still have something
that's
new.
a- that's a-
He
that's a
should have
weird
known better.
situation.
He should have known better.
Yeah, but once
to lose somebody,
once it comes out your mouth,
take it,
you
was
can't take it back.
that was somebody that he was. I don't think from me on the outside looking in, I don't think Irv
All right,
lost
but
anybody as close to
I
him.
understand that, but you see how his brother is standing right here saying, I would never play him like da da da. All right, so when he was alive, if you wasn't saying stuff like that about him, definitely just don't say it about him after he's
Because
gone.
his thing
You
was
know
he
what I'm saying?
said,
Like,
I'm not defending
I'm
Irv
not
Gotti
saying
at
that
all.
you are. I'm just saying like in a way,
it was
it's like,
stupid.
That's just
Yeah,
not.
he
This
just
is
slipped
not
up.
the conversation that you be having about your homies,
Right.
Especially if y'all tight. Now, if you feel a way about him and y'all not super cool
Yeah,
and you got a little
yeah.
resentment about him, that might be some shit that comes out. But like, if you like, I'm not. All right, both of y'all. I've been friends with both of y'all for damn near my whole life. I'm not going to just come out of nowhere and just slip and say some negative shit about y'all. Just don't happen, bro.
I mean, I just looked at it like he just
Right, especially
he just he
Especially
spoke out.
publicly.
Yeah, he spoke out of turn. I think he
if
was
we
just
talking
getting info.
privately, it's a whole different
Yeah,
thing.
he spoke out of turn, and I think he
Yeah.
regretted that he did it. You know what I'm saying? I just
Yeah.
thinking at the time he was hearing information, thinking, okay, I'm just saying something everybody knows already. Not realizing that people were putting shit out there, but everything wasn't the truth.
Yeah,
and
but-
I was hearing shit. I just left it
But the
alone.
thing is, when it comes from a person like Irv Gotti, that's
People believe it.
confirming it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
His lawyer did the same thing though. Remember, his lawyer was out there talking crazy, and they had to go back on the lawyer because the lawyer was out there saying he was brain
what I'm saying?
dead.
Like,
even though we knew that already,
Yeah,
but the
like,
lawyer was out there talking shit way
can't-
before he was supposed to.
Can't
Yeah,
confirm that
because
shit.
like you said,
Yeah.
there was something before he had passed a day earlier saying that he had passed.
Yeah,
when
and,
he-
and a
when he
lot of
didn't
you know,
pass at that
it
point.
was like everybody was trying to get everything together, and it's like they didn't want anybody to know what was going on.
Because
So
I
unless
couldn't
you was
even
at the
say it.
hospital-
You was telling me on text message what was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a million people that want to know
Yeah.
what I know.
That's why I told you like nobody
Right.
knows except
But
you know
I ain't
you like you're
fucking
one of the people
telling
that know.
nobody.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
like
Because,
keep it to yourself. Nobody
man,
knows.
you know how juicy it would be to post it on my Instagram, man. You know, such and such and such.
Yeah, and there was a couple people that did it. Look, Yanel, the comedian, they roasted her for that shit, and she got
Oh,
the information
yeah,
through
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
else. Told her Earl had passed, so she just being nice, not being a mean person. Was like, oh my god, R.I.P.
know.
Yeah, because she was like,
killed her for
yeah,
that.
me and Earl real close.
Yeah, they killed her.
That's
for
how
that.
me and she said me and X real close.
And he
I'd
was.
say
He
Earl,
liked
but
her. He would
yeah.
always be talking to
Right.
her when he was in L.A. Like they would talk a lot. Like so, I knew he was cool with her, and I felt bad for her because I'm like, she's hearing this shit the same way we are from family and relatives.
Right, but my point is like I feel like yo, you telling me your private, personal, family shit, and even though the world want to know it, you telling me this in confidence. I can't just share this with random
They call it
people
pillow
that
Yeah,
don't
you can't.
fucking
Your
know
followers,
y'all.
nah, it's not for that.
what the- It ain't for that.
Some things are better kept to yourself, and I
Yeah,
understand
but
that.
like in confidence, me and you have the respectful relationship that like I can't just go against everything me and you done built all these years just because I know some other people that I don't fucking know want to know about somebody that's famous.
I saw it when
But
he passed.
that's your family though.
Yeah,
bro.
I saw it when he passed. Like the amount of people I don't know that tag me and shit to say they know me was weird. Because you pick up on that right away. Like I ain't talked to this dude in 7 years. He's tagged me in 5 things already because he wants to let people know that he know me. Like, see, he liked it because I know him. Like, dude, I'm not the man. I'm the man's brother. I used to tell people all the time, I'm not rich. I'm related.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of reasons I wouldn't tell people that was my brother because you don't want people thinking you got something that you don't have. It's
Right.
Philly, man. Like you can't be
Hell
out
yeah.
here pump faking with $1 million
Hell yeah.
rapper brother acting like you ain't. I ain't got it. And I used to tell motherfuckers all the time, my nigga, I ain't got it. Don't get it fucked up thinking that I'm rich or he taking care of me. It ain't like that. I work for mine. Like I have a job.
Well, you did run up $127,000.
I did do that. I did do that. Yes, I did do that. Like I said,
that might have been on him. I don't think you paid. Did you pay for it?
I ain't pay for nothing.
You didn't pay for it.
So,
but Silver Studios got a hit team looking out for me.
You didn't live in a way that.
So who paid the bill? Silver Studios.
Silver Studios paid it. Yeah.
Silver Studios got him.
Silver Studios. I got Joel.
You the MVP.
I got Joel. He's really a nice guy too. He's such a nice guy. Like he was such a nice guy.
Massages and lobster on you.
Yes,
yeah, really. Sir, and the butter lobster for all the ladies.
I look forward to working with you.
They take care of you over there. I remember when I saw you on TV when you was on The Wire.
Yeah.
Look at my man being the police.
Yes, sir.
Being the popos on The Wire. My man, he was 19. He was the youngest captain I ever seen. He's like a captain like this. I said, that's Ryan.
Yo, I had to watch that shit twice.
What's that shit? I was on internal affairs.
Yeah, you was up on the thing behind the board. I was like, look at my man.
I was like a judge in a trial. I was internal affairs and shit for Lieutenant Houck, the bald dude that played on
the show Internal Affairs. You saying on
no. I was an internal affairs officer on The Wire.
No, I saw that. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm saying like
another show.
He's saying. The other two dudes that was with me, it was like old niggas. I was like
young faced as shit. I'm like, damn, you look 20 years old, like a little kid up there.
And the dude, Lieutenant Houck, he was also on
a few shows
on Entourage.
Yeah.
He was the cousin from Entourage and shit too. But yeah, you know what I mean. I move around. Man.
Yeah, he did his thing. I was happy. I see my man. I was like, look at my man on The Wire doing his thing down in B1 on The Wire.
Yes, sir.
I got to meet Snoop, but she came up and did. I seen her in Harlem. She's a character.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She's a character. Yeah, she's definitely a character.
Well, listen, man, we ain't gonna keep you forever, man. We can talk forever, and me and you.
It's been my pleasure, man. It's been my pleasure doing this, bro. Really, it's been my pleasure. Absolutely.
We super duper appreciate you, brother. I mean, for other people, this is just a podcast, but for me, our friendship, man, this shit means a lot. I mean, DMX meant so much to the culture, man, so much to the world, and just me being able to tap into you and talk to you. I feel like it's a two-part kind of thing. It's like cathartic, like it's me and you connecting so that we're really talking and we get together and you can share some good stories about your brother and like get some things off your chest and maybe let the world see him in a different light.
And like I told you, it's hard for me because I miss him every day, and I miss my brother all the time. But it's to have friends like you who I love like a brother. I'm never really alone. Right. You know what I'm saying? I lost a bigger brother, but I got a bigger angel.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I want to let you know,
still
man.
Here, we got each other. And I always, like you told me, I always be there for you. And I said, my nigga, I feel the same way.
No
we've always been there for each other through the hard times.
Nah, you my
so the
dog,
brotherhood is real.
That shit that your brother talking about, bro. It's people that be in your life, man. That's like an angel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I've always said about you, I'm super proud. Every time I've ever talked about you with other folks, I'm like, yo, you don't realize how proud I am of this dude, how hard he worked, the time I saw you put in, the shit you went through to get where you had to go. It's almost like we got to be really related, my nigga, because I couldn't be any more proud if you was my blood. You know what I'm saying? When I talk about you to folks, I'm like, yo, you understand, my nigga went through it, but he's doing it. He's a real, my man is a VP exec doing it. I'm telling you, he gonna have to give me a job soon because this nigga's doing way too much shit.
Nah, because you gonna run my bills.
I'm killing you, man. I'm killing you.
$27,000.
No, you could definitely not get me freedom with that shit. You got to put me on a card and be like, that nigga $500.
It's gonna have a limit.
That's it. $500.
It's a limit on this.
Ain't no Kobe's. It's called McDonald's.
No Kobe beef.
Yeah, no Kobe's. McDonald's.
Nah, no doubt, man.
But like I said, without you and a lot of other people, but especially you, my nigga, for being there for me, I wouldn't have been able to get through this as easy, and it wouldn't have been as easy for me. Not easy, but it wouldn't have been as bearable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To know I have friends I could talk to, that you never really alone. You know what I'm saying? There's times when I think I'm alone. When I would just text you out of nowhere, be like, my nigga, I just want to let you know, I really appreciate you being there because I really did, bro. That shit that night I hit you with that message. I'm like, my nigga, I love you to death. I want you to, you family to me, and you always gonna be my family.
Nah, I appreciate
you know what I'm saying?
That, man. Since day
always.
one, bro. Literally.
Since I saw this man flipping down the street looking like Han Solo, because he used to hang with Han Solo. We went to the Rittenhouse Academy. We went to school with
and we used to be out on Temple campus going crazy.
First time I met this dude, I thought he was Han Solo because he used to hang with the nigga all the time. He had the same hair. He had the same. He had the silent show. sideshow,
Han
sideshow
Solo,
Bob thing.
the
all of these
rapper.
you is your imagination.
Han Solo had some
He used
shit
to
out.
go. So him, Benny Boom, we all used to hang out.
I remember Benny Boom,
We used
yeah.
to work at Dr. Denham on South Street. We used to hang out at Temple, all that shit. Like,
Yeah, Benny. And now he was a big wig up at Def Jam.
Yeah.
I seen Benny not that long ago on in New York City with his wife and his kids. Wow,
shooting
his life has
films.
changed.
Shout out to Benny
He
Boom,
was
man.
backflipping. All I see is this
Congratulations.
young kid with no shirt on. These big ass pants. You know, we used to wear the big pants back in the
Dancing.
day. He had the brown shoes and he's backflipping down the street. Because, you know, the ladies love Ryan. So my man got the muscle. He backflipping down the street. What the fuck is this dude backflipping down the street? And then we started kicking it. We had the same class. Both not doing shit in the summer school class.
Yep.
I failed the first time. I had to come back.
Yep.
The
The next time that I went, I met. That's when I became friends with Dr. J's son, Jay Irvin, and shit. He went there
Who
too.
ended up dating Kira.
Yeah.
Kira Clifford.
Yep.
Yeah, I went to school with Kira.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with Kira.
So yeah, man, I met some good people.
Yeah,
man,
we went to
and
school
then-
with Zeke. Zeke is his
Yeah.
name, right? Zeke had the Jeep.
Yeah.
He was. I never really. I don't know. Zeke was a different type of guy. He was very to himself. And Patty LaBelle's your mom. So
No, Zuri.
Zuri. And I ended up meeting Zuri later
Zuri, yeah.
when I was hanging out with Earl and when I was mom's house, and I ended up meeting him as a double. Like,
Yeah,
you
we
don't
used to
remember?
go to the
Nigga, we went
parties
to
at
the.
Patty LaBelle's house.
Yeah, we was like we went
I
to Red
went
House
to a
Academy
couple parties
together.
with you at Patty
Yeah.
LaBelle's house.
Yep.
Yeah, he's an
man.
interesting
But
character,
listen, man. I just super appreciate you, brother, man.
Yo, man, I appreciate you letting me be here, man.
I'm constantly praying for you, man, and
I appreciate
and it
that.
still stands. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it stings like a
Obviously,
motherfucker, but
anytime you need me, man, I'm here for you, and we just appreciate you coming through, man,
No,
and
it's a
sharing,
pleasure being here,
sharing
man.
your brother with us because you know you got a way different perspective that other people don't know in the world about Earl.
I mean, I'd love to
about
come back and
DMX.
tell some more stories if I
And,
can. And just talk
yeah,
about a bunch of other
definitely,
shit.
man.
yeah.
You
what
know,
I'm saying?
anytime, man.
Just so you know, man, I'm cool with a lot of these motherfuckers. Next time the locks come in town, bro, you holler at me. We get them on this
Let's do it,
podcast.
man. Let's
You know what I'm
do
saying?
it.
Because
Shout out to
Jay
the
and me
Locks.
been cool since we was kids. I used to buy tray bags off this nigga,
Yeah.
so he owed me that much. You know what I'm saying? I bought a lot of dirt off Kiss. He owed
said
me.
dirt.
Mr.
Dirt?
Phillips, come on, tray bags. Him and Kay used to sell the worst weed in the world. They used to sell them little tray bags of dirt down on Ravine, and he know it's true because I used to buy that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was the worst weed in the world, but I used to buy it from.
Shout out to Yonkers too.
Because I
man.
tell people all the time, Kiss has been a hustler since been a hustler since been a hustler. Right. He is one of these most stand up motherfuckers you will ever meet. Right. He used to say all the time, I want to be like Rich. I'm like, my nigga, you way past Rich. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of like the respect he get in the neighborhood and how he does for the kids. Right. Like never been a time I ain't seen that dude. We ain't treated me like 100%, no matter what the situation. But yeah, I used to buy tray bags of garbage off that nigga with his kids. Because him and Kay, him and his cousin Chris, they had the tray bags. Like back then, you know, you was been Yonkers, you could get the Nick or some chocolate. That was the weed we would smoke back then, but then it wasn't really chocolate.
Dude smoke so many Nicks, dog.
Oh my goodness. I mean that one that I had the weed from my man. My man gave me, just real quick, my man gave me like an ounce of weed. Me and this nigga smoked it all. We had to sell it. We made the bags and smoked the bags. I was like, well, it was what it was. We had a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We had a good time.
A good time
A good time
podcast. We appreciate you.
We had a good time.
Yo, shout out to
let's throw the X's
DMX,
up one
man.
time.
Throw up the
Let's
X
never
on,
forget
you
that,
know what I
man.
mean? Yo, man.
I had a great time.
Good
Thank
Time
you, man.
podcast. My man Joe Barker. Joe is DMX's brother right here. Shout out to Peter Gunz. We appreciate you coming
Thank you,
on the
Pete.
show, man.
Guns.
Calling in, man. One love,
Charles
y'all.
Bronx.
Peace.
Peace.